Welcome back everyone to Creeper World 4. We're going to do a cursor map, which I haven't done one of these before, so I thought it'd be nice to try one out. One of the better ones, in my opinion, is this one right here. Cursor 2 Complicated. You can see the various ones. Some of them have been combined with play as Creeper style, which is another sort of interesting wrinkle. But we're going to dive into this one here. Decent times on this one seem to be a little over the 20-minute mark, as we can see. So if you want to read all of this briefing, go ahead and pause it here. But these maps are not that complicated in concept, at least. This one is really a puzzle type of atmosphere. So you want to do it from top-down view, even though you don't get the dynamic differences in height, to really control knowing exactly where your cursor is. We have two enemies to nullify, emitter there, spore launcher here. We have a reclaim objective and a hold objective, which is the base over here. And the only place that we can start is where there's already anti-creeper, because where the cursor concept is going is that you get more anti-creeper that spawns where your cursor is if there's already anti-creeper there. You can't do it on open terrain, you can't do it where there's already creeper. It has to be where there already is anti-creeper. So we have to start up here. Going down this way, you can see there's some absorber terrain, a lot more around the edges. So our only really viable early option is to expand this way. So we're going to take that direction. And then we want to stay right behind the leading edge of the AC so that we are adding more, but we're adding it closer to the front so that it will expand and flow further in the direction we want, which in this case is down here because I want to get this flip breeder on this little island or cul-de-sac or whatever it is. There we go. Now we're going to move up this way. And I want to press into this. We don't have enough to just take over this creeper breeder section yet. But that's not my goal. My goal is to get to this next pathway downwards. And now we're there. So we're going to keep moving. And press into this. Come on. Get yourself in there. I want to get into where the middle is, where they have the breeder. Almost got there, but then it pushed again. Come on. So we've got sort of the dueling breeding going on here. But now our spawn ability taking over. Okay, now we want to move up into this way. Again, I'm not trying to conquer this area. I'm just trying to get through it to the next area that I want, which is up here. Lead it up into these. Excellent. All right. And so, basically with that square of creeper breeder, we're going to be able to handle that now with all of the AC we have breeding up in that direction. So I don't care about that anymore. I'm just moving along the next path that I want. And we're making our way towards that spore launcher. We can't quite see it from here, but that's where we're going. It's right down there now. It is at the bottom of the screen. And I want to press my way continually in that direction. Just help the anti-creeper along. Now, if you look in the lower left, you can see those 3 cauldrons or whatever of creeper, and one of the spores already landed there, and the spores are pretty big, setting off that breeder. I don't know if that there's any way to prevent that on this particular map, but we want that to happen as little as possible. So first thing I'm doing is moving up in here to grab this flip breeder on this elevated square. It's going to take a bit to conquer this. You can see down below by the spore launcher not working too well. There we go. It just launched another spore. Come on. Get the rest of it. That'll do. Okay, now we need to work our way back in this. retake all of this area that we just got into a little bit. And there's an egg there, which is trouble. Yep, it erupts. So we have to back off and just fight off the wave that it's going to throw at us. And now that's starting to dissipate. You can see it overflowing onto the area there where the absorber terrain is. Okay, now we're just going to take a moment. We're going to put down some of this. Got a couple towers, a rift lab, and a nullifier. So we want to knock that out. A slight bit of actual conventional creeper worlding going on there. But I also want to keep pushing over here because I want to get into where that breeder is. And I want to do it quickly. Come on, get there. Get there. Now we're starting to get into it. Good. Excellent. Let's throw up some more towers. Then we're going to head off to the right. You can hear it already beeping at us. This is our hold base area, and the creeper is just starting to get in here, so we're going to stop that from happening. There we go. Let's push this back, and this is going to take some time. But we have to win in all areas eventually. And right now I want to spend the effort on pushing this aside. Just leave it there for now. I'm going to come back here and get into this area so that this doesn't breed anymore. In the exact order here, I'm not precisely sure on, but the basic idea is you just want to prevent, get as much positive breeding as you can and prevent any breeding that's going against you. So let's slide this up in here. And now pretty soon this area will no longer breed against us. There we go. If you look at the overall creeper levels, obviously there is a cutoff level that we've already hit. But also, it's about 3 to 1, I think, now against us. So we have a lot of work to do yet in removing the creeper threat. But this breeder is almost done. There we go. We'll spend a little more time in here making sure the creeper gets the upper hand. Or doesn't get the upper hand, rather. Make sure the anti-creeper gets the other hand is what I meant to express. And I think we're winning now. Okay, now we can leave. We're going to go back over here, continue what we're doing. You see, this is already climbing back in here. But this time, I am not going to just push it back a little bit. This time, I'm going to stick with this. Now, this is kind of a long pathway that we can see going up around here, but I want to make it happen. Now, there is a stash down here that we really have to pay attention to. We want to make sure that this does not go too crazy. But right now, it isn't that full. And I think I'm also going to just throw up a few more towers here. Something like that. That should work. We are going to want to form some more connections from there, because I'm going to leave that Rift Lab where it is and eventually connect it over to this end of the map once it has a little more energy. I don't want to throw up everything at once, because otherwise it won't get power to the nullifier, and that will not do us any good. So just gradually pushing this back. Okay, I think we're good on energy over there. So I want to set up a nice big row of pylons. All the way to the corner. And then eventually, all the way up here as well. Take a while to build all those pylons, but we've got some time, because we have some work to do over here also. And once we get into this pool, we can see that we have some friendly breeder, some hostile breeder, then some flip breeder over there on the left that right now is not working in our direction, so there's lots to do here. I sort of want to push this down a little bit more. That should work. Now let's work on getting over this way a bit. I just want to seize the flip breeder on this side. Let that go to work for us. There we go. Trying to work our way through these waves and get to the source. There we go. That should be fine. Then let's help this side finish off. We can actually move across this absorber terrain, but as you can see, it's a little more difficult because you're constantly losing AC as you do it. We need a... There we go. Now we get a foothold on solid ground. Work our way in towards this stash. Another small area falls to the power of the AC, but we are still overall outnumbered. Let's work our way into this breeder. Oh, we didn't quite make it. We were almost there, but we didn't quite make it. There we go. Now, where's our stash at over here? Oh, yeah, that's big. I need to clear that out, because if this goes up all the way and then it explodes, it'll come up over all this, knock out some of our pylons, cause a big mess. We don't want that to happen. So we need to pay some attention down here. Probably should have come in here a little bit sooner, actually. I don't like getting it much over 5,000. There we go. We just need to keep this submerged in AC. There we go. See? There it goes. We got to try to keep this under control as much as we can. But it wasn't all the way full, so it did okay. Let's keep moving back up here. This will only rise so fast, the stash will, because of the mesh. Okay, so now we need to be careful over here, because this is going to try to flow over now that there's so much more creeper coming in here from that stash blowing. So I just want to spend some time making sure it doesn't overflow us. And it's doing its best to do that, but it's, you know, it's eventually going to thin out, and you won't get nearly as many waves. But you can see there, it's trying to come back over. All right, that might not be enough, but I think it might be. Let's come over and work on this final area on this side. Whoops. Yeah, that definitely wasn't enough, obviously. Should have stayed over here a bit longer. Doesn't cost us anything really permanent. Right now, we actually want that stash to suck up some more. It is beginning to. Because the more creeper that stash has, the less is in this pool. So it's just sort of a puzzle in terms of when you want to relieve that pressure and when you don't. Well, there's our hold objective. Okay, let's see if we can finish this off. Oh my goodness, it didn't even... Oh, you're not cooperating, are you? Come on, push up that way. Let's get rid of this. We're approaching the overall even point. Creeper and AC. There we go. That should do it. Alright. Stash is at 3,000 and rising. So now we want to try to push into this area carefully. I want to try to walk across here if I can get there. Yeah. There we go. We moved across to this area where, importantly, these little islands, there's no mesh on them. So we can just sit here, and as opposed to, you know, over there by our pylons and our base, where some of the creeper, the anti-creeper rather, that you're producing is going to flow into all the absorber terrain and whatnot, get caught behind that ledge, etc. Here, it's all going to fighting the enemy. So it's a much more efficient place to be once you can get here. Now you can see our AC is actually outnumbering the creeper now. It's going down gradually. Some of it's getting sucked up by that stash, and some of it we're destroying. Okay, let's try to work our way across now. Because where we really want to be is this island right over here next to the emitter so we can nullify it. Okay, so we're gonna... First of all, we're gonna get a pylon up here. And then we're just gonna keep on with what we're doing here. Where are we at on that stash? Okay, it's about 5,000. Now the trick here is we want to nullify this and get this area under control before the stash blows. And there's a pretty tricky timing to it. That pylon's up. I think we need to get this creeper level down a little bit more, though, before we can put one up over here. Getting close. Maybe we'll try it now. It still might be too soon, but I'm going to give it a whirl. I'm going to put it over there. I don't want this to be too close here. I want to have room for the nullifier. So while that's building, we continue to spawn more AC. Continue to lower down the overall levels. Okay. See if we can get away with that nullifier now. Maybe there? We're going to want to stick right with it and protect it like mad. Here we go. We've also got to protect the pylon, so if the creeper levels were much higher than they were, we would not actually be able to do that. They just got another spike of creeper there. I think this erupted, did it? It did erupt. That's weird. I must have lowered the creeper levels down to the point where it wasn't carrying it up onto that plateau anymore. That's what must have happened. Which, surprised it happened quite that soon. We just need this to nullify up. Here comes the wave. Can we hold off the wave is a really actually big question here. Because if this wave is too strong, we can't stop it from hitting our nullifier and then it's over. There we go. Now we just got to wear this down. Come on, don't blow me up. I mean, much stronger, we would have been in trouble. I think we're going to make it. I hope we're going to make it. I think we are. Down about 6k creeper now. We're not getting any more out of the emitter, so everything we eliminate should be eliminated permanently at this stage. Okay, now it's kind of spreading on its own. So let's see. Is there anywhere else we need to go? And I don't think there is. So let's just keep working along the edges here. And let's work over into this area now. That's one of the very few places left where they have some land. See the reclaim at 93%. So I thought this level was kind of interesting in the multitasking, in the sort of trying to manage that stash reasonably well, and this just has to melt away because that's the last little bit that's going to give us our reclaim victory. And then the whole concept of the cursor I think is pretty basic. I don't think I'd want to do a lot of these levels, but I think it can be interesting, you know, to a degree. And at this point, we're just sort of waiting for all of it. There it goes. Now we're charging. And the final then objective in place. We will get out of here. That was Cursor 02 Complicated. And 19 minutes on the Nullify. Reclaim, of course, took longer. And the hold objective, obviously everybody is going to have the same time for that. So, thanks for watching, everyone. More Creeper World 4 will be coming up, but you know, as always, when I do a new style, let me know what you thought of the cursor style of map if you want me to do any more of these. And I'll see you next time with another map.